Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. AC is on because it's hot. Uh, and it's time to once again enter the world of heroes. Yes, I took some time off to, you know, do some Shyamalan. You're not Shyamalan. Do some Tarantino films. I figured I'm halfway through that, so I'm gonna take a break. So what am I gonna do on my break? Well, I'm gonna watch Heroes. Apparently, so I finished watching the first part of season 3. Yes, I'm splitting season 3 into 2 parts because it's in 2 different volumes. I'm going by volumes, like I said before. I did volume 1, Genesis, volume 2, Generations, and now volume 3, Villians, as Hero would say. Villians, hold on. And Villains it is. So as mentioned, this was the first season of Heroes I was able to watch live when it aired. The other 2, season 1 I watched on DVD. Season 2 I watched the reruns on G4 and then the DVD. There's only 11 episodes in season 2. Not very long. This is a regular standard season length, but it was split into 2 volumes. So volume 3 is Heroes, volume 4 is Fugitives. And that confused me because I had no idea that doesn't happen. When I remember the episode 13, Duel, which was the end of volume 3. When that popped up, I'm just like, wait, there's that end of volume 3, and I'm like, that's not the end of the season, is it? And the volume 4, Fugitives, and then it came back in February, which is my birth month. But turn off the TV. But yeah, so I remember being excited. I had this whole premiere thing at the beginning, a whole garbage thing, getting ready for the premiere, and then it started. Rewatching this again. So I mentioned that the season 2 finale was changed. Originally, the virus was going to be spread. They changed that to instead, the virus was stopped, and when Nathan was about to announce to the world there were people with powers, he was shot. The opening to this season convinces me they had no idea who it was going to be that shot him. Because the answer is so far out of left field that it doesn't really make too much sense unless you really try to stitch things together. Yeah. Now, I tried to remember how I put it, whether it made sense. The line that Angela says, "You open Pandora's box," I think it makes more sense in the ending. Like, I think what I was thinking about it, and I think that it makes sense if she's talking to the shooter, but given that what we find out about the shooter, it no longer makes any sense. It doesn't make sense in the context of the virus being released. Well, Pandora's box. Who is she talking to? Did Peter call her? She's watching the TV, so I don't know. And in the case of the other one, where Nathan is shot, her line doesn't really make any sense. I also seem to remember that in the deleted ending, she has her vision, which is then taken from here and placed in one of the first episodes of this season. But it doesn't really make much sense. If that's the case, I don't know. Yeah, we start in the future, 4 years into the future, which would be the 5-year time jump from the episode The Hero Goes into the Future in season 1. Yeah. And we see future Peter, who still has the scar from exploding, despite the fact that he shouldn't have that scar anymore. He can also change his appearance, which is a power that our Peter does not have. He got in the other in this timeline he got it from Candace, but Siler killed Candace. Didn't take her power though. He couldn't. He couldn't. But he's in the future. He's being chased by future Claire, who has changed. She says that that she's different, and he doesn't know what happened to her, why she's so cold and everything. And she tries to kill her. She tries to kill him. Excuse me. And he says he's gonna go back and change it. So he time travels back, and he's the one who shoots Nathan. Now, looking at everything that happened at the end of season 2, this really doesn't make any sense. Especially since I fully believe that Angela was supposed to be talking to the shooter on the phone. But now, her line just makes no sense. And that's never brought back in to the show. There's never mention of who she was talking to, nothing. Because they changed the way they were doing things. And again, even if they were going to have the virus released, who was she talking to there? Right? I don't know. But like I said, Nathan's shot, and then he comes back to life. I don't think they ever explain how he's healed. Because, I don't know. He sees Linderman, but it's not Linderman. So how was he healed? I don't think it's ever explained. Was it Claire's? Did someone have Claire's blood and inject him? Was it a delay reaction from when Adam injected his blood into him? Was that what it was? He died, but then Adam's blood was still in the system, so it healed him? It's never explained. Sorry, my leg is itching right now. Excuse me. You think it's bad when you just have an itch on your leg? Try sitting on it, and then it just, yeah. Future Peter, so, our Peter takes his future Peter into the bathroom, and then when Parkman comes in, he just finds who appears to be our Peter. It's revealed to be future Peter, and our Peter is thrown into the body of a prisoner at Primatech called Jesse, who is played by Francis Capra, who you may know as the little kid from Kazam, where Shaq was a genie. Swear, sirens. Police siren. Freeway is right there. Like, literally, freeway runs right by me. So, but it's closed, and the air conditioner's on, but I don't know, I'm hearing things maybe. Parkman realizes that something's going on, and so then future Peter just sends Parkman to the middle of nowhere where there is a Nigerian prophet who is basically Mr. Isaac painting stuff on rocks. And it turns out that's exactly where Parkman is supposed to be. If that ain't the most laziest way to push a story, to just have future Peter teleport him anywhere, and he happens to end up where he's supposed to be at. I don't know. So, after the chaos at the end of the last season, the Bennetts are trying to move on, but something happens. See, Noah, he's still a prisoner of the company, and Claire is at home. Future Peter tells her to stay there. Well, Siler comes a-calling and takes her powers. Now, when I reviewed Volume 1, I mentioned that maybe there was something else I needed to explain. So, it was saying to cheerleaders save the world. That, that Peter had to save Claire from dying that day. However, in the episode where Hero goes to the future. I think it's that episode. It's episode where we're in the future. We find out that Claire survived. So my thought was, in that original timeline, she was attacked and Sylar took her power, but she survived because it's revealed here after he takes her power that she can survive. She can heal from that. Because of course she can. He puts her top back on and she heals perfectly fine. So, I think she could heal the entire time. And, she survived in both timelines, but in this timeline, Sylar didn't get that power until now. So, yeah. And it's implied that this is what makes her cold in the future. But then Angela acts like it's because future Peter told her to stay there. But going by what we already know, this was already supposed to happen, so it didn't matter. You know? Whatever. Well, Sylar comes to call into Prime Attack and attacks Elle, who electric power short circuits everything, and all of the fugitives get loose. So Angela recruits Bennett and Sylar as partners, one of us, one of them, like there was before, and to track them down. Of course, one of them is Peter inside Jesse's body. Jesse's ability is that he can yell real loud, and there's this guy named Flint who has fire powers, who is revealed to be Claire's uncle technically. He's what's her name? Claire's birth mom's brother. Although that's never brought up to her, but yeah. There's Knox, whose power is super strength, but again, they put a spin on it by when he senses fear, it makes him stronger. So that's interesting. Also, I should mention that Mohinder is looking at Maja's blood and figures out it's from adrenaline, the adrenal glands, that makes it work. Or fear? Adrenal glands? Fear? Whatever. It comes from your body. Whatever. And figures out that he has a way he could come up with a way to give people powers. But she wants to get rid of the powers. He injects himself, which gives him super strength, but it also turns him into a bug person, sort of. Yeah. Hiro is put in charge of protecting a secret. It turns out it's half of a formula to give people powers. Yeah. But then a speedster shows up. Look, there are way too many occurrences, especially when it comes to Hero, where something where someone will do something and then right away the bad guys show up and do something. It's way too convenient, way too smooth to work. It doesn't. As soon as Hero finds the half of the formula, she zooms in, takes it, and leaves. It's always, and that's not the last time this will happen either. It's too convenient. It's writing it too convenient for the story, because the story has to go that way to complete, and it makes it too easy for the bad guys to get where they are by the end of this. It does. She also steals the other half of the formula, but apparently, as we find out later, because it's not so simple putting the two pieces of formula together, there's a catalyst, because we gotta stretch some shit out. Whatever. There's a lot to go on, because I keep forgetting. So Ali Lauder is back, but she's the character of Tracy Strauss, who is told by another senator to approach Nathan Petrelli to become senator. He thinks she's Nikki, but she's not. She finds out that she was created by the company, given powers, her, Nikki, and Barbara, which puts Jessica into question. right? Like they retcon this. Who is Jessica? Was she Barbara? Because we never meet Barbara, although we never get that far. But we never meet Barbara. Was that Barbara? She be renamed Jessica? Because they make a big deal about how the Jessica, the alternate personality of Jessica, was brought out by her sister's death because they were so close. But they didn't know they weren't actually sisters, or that's confusing. She even goes to Nikki's funeral, and we get a cameo from Micah. We'll see him again in the next volume, but yeah. She has ice powers, and she kills the greatest American hero. What is it with these shows? Bringing in William Cat just to kill him off. He plays a reporter who is snooping into her because he finds the online stuff that Nikki was doing in season 1 and thinks it's her. I don't. And so she freezes him to death by accident. Yeah, he dies by freezing here. And like I said, he's also the priest in the Crisis on Earth X crossover for the Arrowverse, and he gets killed by the Nazis. So I hate Nazis. I love that line when Oliver says it. Yeah. So Hero thinks he can fix this by going to the future. He goes to the future, and he sees himself on a bridge in Japan having a conversation with Ando, who now has powers, and blasts Hero with him. This causes Hero to no longer trust Ando because he knows he's going to turn on him. This moment is not in Volume 3. It's not. I guess it'll pick up in Volume 4, but this doesn't. The moment that we see doesn't come to fruition, I should say, in Volume 3. Yeah. Hero believes that Daphne, the speedster, is his nemesis, and tries to use his powers to kind of mess with her and get the phone back. And it doesn't exactly work. Meanwhile, Parkman is learning how to be a prophet like Mr. Isaac and paint the future. There's a couple of episodes that they try to do a future thing. So Future Peter shows up and removes. So the villains, the fugitive villains, I should say. They decide to rob a bank of all places. And Peter in Jesse's body tries to stop them. Noah, Bennett, and Silas show up. And then he helps them out by using Jesse's powers. Then Future Peter shows up and removes Peter from Jesse's body. But instead of letting Peter stay and help them, he takes Peter to the future to show him a world where everyone has powers. Which, yes, can be problematic because not everyone has a good heart. So, it's not exactly ideal. He knows Peter. He has to stop it. And then Future Peter is killed by Future Claire, and our Peter is on the run. So our Peter decides the only way to do this is to get Siler's power. I still don't understand why, but he does, and he gets it. But it turns him psycho because of the hunger that it comes with. In the future, Siler's now Gabriel has a son named Noah, and Noah, I believe what happens is that Noah is accidentally killed by Future Knox. So Siler explodes, killing a bunch of people, including Daphne, who barely escapes, but in the future she is married to Parkman and they have a baby with Molly also there. I don't know, Molly just sort of disappears in this season and she's in the future. I don't know. She also doesn't look 4 years older. I just want to point out they kind of style her hair differently to make her older, but she still looks the same way she did before. Could have hired a different actress. 4 years can be long for a teenager to age. Trust me. I mean, some people can have a big growth spurt in a year, let alone 4. I mean, and supposedly she looks the same in 4 years. Is she stunted growth? She's drinking coffee or something to stunt her growth. I don't know. I never drank coffee. I didn't grow nothing. We're starting on the first half, by the way. And I think Matt is also in his trance painting this at the same time. It's revealed that Daphne is working for a place called Pinehurst. Angela has a vision of a strange man played by Robert Forster showing up, and he says, "Oh, you can see the future. We can't have that." And she's put into a coma of sorts. We don't know who this is, but she's shocked to see that this person is here. It's later revealed to be Arthur Petrelli. Yes, Angela's presumed to be dead husband, and Peter and Nathan's presumed to be dead father. Still alive and in sort of a comatose-like state. He's paralyzed, we find out later, and can only use thoughts to speak. I can't get a hold on what his power is supposed to be. I take it maybe he's an empath, which would make sense. Like Peter, he too is an empath, because that's what it feels like. Because he takes on people's powers. He can read minds, which would be Maury Parkman's powers. Maybe he was part of healing Nathan, if he's got Linderman's powers. I assume he's an empath. But we find out that the boys' powers were given to them. At least Nathan's were. Maybe Peter's were inherited. This is why he's an empath. I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it. Still a lot to go through. And we're 22 minutes in. And we're not that far in. So I blanked out. Where were we? Yeah, he's still alive. It's revealed that he's still alive. He's in a comatose. So Hero resolves to be recruited to Pinehurst. And so his task is to bury Adam Monroe, or Takesukense. And so he is brought. They use Adam because he was buried deep underground by Hero at the end of season 2, or volume 2. Excuse me. He's taken to Pinehurst, and his powers are sucked out by Arthur, which causes him to die. Now I think about it, I don't know. I thought maybe he was using the Haitian's powers, but the Haitian can't suck powers. He just suppresses them. He can't suck them out. It's confusing. Also, so Peter has Siler's power now, and he starts going crazy. So they lock him up at Primatech. And escapes and decides he has to go to Pinehurst to confront whoever it is. Finds out it's his dad, and Arthur takes his powers away, making him human. Issue number 1. They had to do this because Peter is the most OP of all of the people with superpowers. He is. Now Arthur is. I mean, he is super OP. With his being able to just absorb people's powers, take them from them. He's very OP. You know. It's revealed that the Linderman that Nathan was talking to was actually Maury Parkman, which is obvious if you really think about it. you know. But Maury Parkman is killed when when it's revealed to him that Arthur wants Matt killed, and he's like, "No, that's my son. We agreed." Well, then he kills Maury anyway. So that's pretty much everyone else who was part of the original company. The only ones left are the Petrellis, right? So while Noah is gone, he brings in Meredith, that being Claire's birth mother, to protect the family while he's gone. She secretly changed Claire, to fight, protect herself after the whole encounter with Siler, what is Hero doing at this point? He failed, but what is he doing before? Let me stick sock. So, Hero was told to find Matt Parkman. He's told to find the prophet, the one, was it Ututsu is his name, the one that Parkman was talking to. They get there and he basically gives him a drink that shows him the past. We get a flashback to the past where things are revealed, such as Nathan, the whole Lindemann case that was mentioned in the flashbacks in season 1. We found out that Arthur was behind the car accident that Nathan and his wife was in. It paralyzed Nathan's ex-wife now. But yeah, because it's implied he's in some sort of relationship with Tracy now, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Then it's revealed that Arthur's heart attack wasn't really a heart attack. Angela poisoned him, and it caused him to have a heart attack. And he survived it, and has been in a coma. He was paid out. He was mind controlling this guy or something. But this nurse or something. Yeah, that's the big thing that comes from that. There's other stuff, such as revealing that Noah Bennett is responsible for Siler being a Siler, which I don't think you needed to do. That after because we flash back, it's like a year before everything, like even before the first episode. It's after Siler killed that guy in the shop and took his telekinetic powers. He regretted it, and so he meets Elle, which, by the way, he's seen before this episode and is never connected. I'm like, they must have Renee erase his memories, but they don't, and they never acknowledge knowing each other at all, before this flashback shows up. It's like, wait, really? Like, it's confusing. But yeah, like, he wants to forget this, he wants to be a good person. They start having a sort of a relationship, but Noah keeps pushing her to force him to kill. They're not going to take him in, they just want to see him do it. And so she brings this guy who has this power that I don't think he takes, because he's like a sharpshooter. I've never seen Siler use that power before, but he does eventually kill this guy, and then tells Elle to leave. And she leaves, and she can't deal with it anymore. But yeah, that flashback. There's no other flashbacks with anyone else really. Although there's flashbacks with Meredith and her brother Flit, revealing that they're siblings, and it's also revealed that they were the cause of the fire on the train that Claire shows up to save people in. from like the pilot, and it showed that Bennett leaves L in New York and gets in Mohinder's cab at the beginning of the series. So, also they say it was 1 year ago, which is confusing because it's been 2 years. Because this would be 2008, but I guess it takes place in 2007. It's confusing. It's confusing. Well, I guess if it's taking place right after the events, I just thought of that. If it takes place right after the events of Volume 2, then yeah, it would be. It would be still in 2007. I didn't think of that. Yeah. Also, it would be winter. But, I'll forgive that. It would be, because it was December. Unless it was not taking place in December, but it was December. Claire was going to school. Oh yeah, and West has just disappeared. I think he's mentioned later, but yeah. So, here is coincidence number 2. Hero wakes out of his dream thing and says that they have to go stop Arthur Petrelli. And wouldn't you know it, Arthur is already there. He's killed the prophet, Ututsu, and he touches Hero's head, but Ando is able to try to stop him, I guess. Not really, he tries to, and he gets knocked on his ass. He gets a pretty cool jump. He gets knocked on his ass. But he's able to stop him from doing whatever he's doing to Hero. But Hero has to regress to the mind of a 10-year-old. Yeah, because let's stretch this out a little more. That's what it is. It's just stretching it out. He can still teleport and time travel, but he can't remember anything past being 10 years old. And he wants waffles for some reason. They teleport to a bowling alley in Japan that has waffles. Waffles in a bowling alley? Really? I didn't know that was a thing. Nathan is told his father is still alive and goes to talk to him. And Nathan disagrees with his father at first. And then he and Peter are sent on a mission to get the Haitian in Haiti, who is battling his brother Baron Samedi, whose powers are invincibility. There's also a foretelling of another eclipse, which is another thing they use to stretch this out. Because the eclipse, which is a 2-part episode, the last one gave its powers, this one taketh away. Yeah, so no one has powers anymore. Which means that Arthur should be in a coma again. I'm sorry, if he does... If he, And here's the thing. When the eclipse happens, everything that his powers have done should also stop. All the effects that his powers have done should also stop. Which means he should be in a coma. Angela should be woken up. Hero should have his mind back. Peter should... Well, no, Peter wouldn't have his powers back. But I'm just saying. All the effects should wear off. But they don't. Because plot. And Peter and Nathan were flying when the eclipse happened and they crash. Yeah. I believe they do take Maya's powers away, and it's clear that they didn't have any plans for Maya past Volume 2, because she does less than Nikki did in Volume 2. I'm serious. She has some sort of love affair with Mohinder, and then she finds out he's disgusting, and then she's cured, and then that's it. That's it. Because Arthur takes her powers. Never uses them, but he takes them. Yeah. There's even a scene where Mohinder is cured, so he goes to talk to her, only for the eclipse to wear off. Which, it's weird that the first eclipse activated their powers and their powers stayed, but this one takes them away, but it's not permanent. They come back once the eclipse is gone. It's kind of wishy-washy writing, but yeah. Baron Samedi gets his power back, but so does the Haitian. They're able to take him down. But now Nathan believes in his father's mission to give powers to the right people, then they can do good things. But Peter doesn't believe it. So, yeah. Meanwhile, Hero, it's revealed that Daphne was a paraplegic. She was on crutches and wanted to run when she got her powers. And so Hero, Ando, and Matt go to the farm in Kansas where she's from, because they're following the comic books. Apparently, Mr. Isaac wrote very much in the future, even though the issue that told the finale from last season, from season 1 actually, was one that was never published. Yet he had published ones that foretold the future through volume 3. I mean, the extra paintings that Simone sold, from volume 2, I bought that because it makes sense. But the fact that he had published comic books foretelling the future past his death, again, I said this before, that you shouldn't, a prophet, like, if you paint the future, that's fine, but you shouldn't be able to see past your own death. You're not around to be there. I don't understand. It's plot convenience to get things going. So because of this, they know where she is. So they go there. And then, upon looking at the comic books, they find that Hero, the Hero takes Ando to a Ando takes Hero to a comic book store to show him, because their powers are gone now because of the eclipse. So, to show him. And there we see Seth Green and Bracken Meyer of Robot Chicken fame. And that's where they go through all the comic books that show what's supposed to happen. And in one of the comic books, there's a flashback to when Noah was giving Claire when she was a baby. And it's revealed that older Hero and older Claire are also there. So Hero shows up and saves the fucking day. He shows up, he takes Siler, puts him somewhere, takes Elle, puts her somewhere, because they are on a revenge mission, because they show up just as the eclipse is happening, and they shoot Claire. So Claire basically does die till your powers come back. Noah goes out for revenge, shooting Elle, and they show up now with their powers. And this is where Hero shows up, and he usually plucks. I like how he plucks Silence as Batman, and then plucks her, Batgirl, and then grabs Claire and goes, "Save the cheerleader," and pops out, and they go back to the past. And we meet Hero's mom, and so it's Hero's mom that heals him, kisses him on the forehead. So what's Claire gonna do? Well, we have her showing up at the Bennett's apartment and pretending to be the niece of one of the neighbors. But then Noah comes home. We didn't need this. He comes home and she's like, "Well, I'm Bonnie. I'm the Monico's niece. The Monicos don't have a niece." How do you know that? You don't know. They could. That sounded like guy from Galaxy Quest. Can't go out there. Is there air? You don't know. Yeah, like, does no one know everything? Is he Noah, purveyor of knowledge? I know everything. I know everything. It's just like they don't have a niece. You don't know that. Like they're just your neighbors. Like whatever. They have a conversation, and then Hero is healed. And so there's a catalyst. Claire believes she is the catalyst, but tells Noah not to let herself be the catalyst. So it's put into Hero, adult Hero. And again, convenience number 3. As soon as he finds out as soon as he gets the catalyst and he and Claire are ready to go, Arthur shows up, flings him up, takes the catalyst and his powers, flings him off a building and flies away and teleports away with Claire. No, this doesn't work. And again, you have taken another hero's powers away, and it's Hero this time. So now he's stuck in the past. Yeah. So what do? Well, shit. So they go to Pinehurst where they're developing the serum, and they test it on some guy named Scott. Not me. He gets super strength. That's now 4 people with super strength, by the way. Nikki, Knox, Mohinder, and the Scott guy. Overusing powers. Overusing these powers. It's too much. 4 people? Really? And it's just standard super strength. You know, they used to put a twist on the other 3. Although, once Mohinder is cured, he doesn't need. By the way, Mohinder's hair gets crazy weird. It's like, poof, up instead of slicked back like usually. I don't know. Maybe because he's all messed up. He's not using product anymore. I don't know. But, yeah. So, they go there and Endo injects himself. But he doesn't get time travel powers. He gets the red lightning stuff that we saw in the future when he attacks Hero. We find out that that's an accelerator. When he touches Matt, it accelerates the thoughts. He hears, like, everybody's thoughts in the area. And so he accidentally accelerates Daphne to travel back in the past. Just a little bit. Just about a minute into the past. So they use that for her to travel back and save Hero. Okay, so I understand you needed Anno to get powers because you showed him. There's other ways to do that. But having Hero has no powers. Hero having no powers plays into the next season. Or the next volume. Excuse me, so we'll just go with that. I'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah. So Peter shows up at Pinehurst with Flint, ready to take the place down and everything. Meanwhile, at Primatech, everything is going to hell. Because Siler is now evil again after he kills Elle. Trying to change his ways, it didn't work. He's evil again. He kills Elle and takes her powers. Then he shows up at Primatech and he injects Meredith with adrenaline, which causes her fire to flame up. And Claire's able to save them, but she can't control it. It's too much. And it burns Primatech down. I should also mention that Matt Parkman does save Angela. He goes into her mind and he saves her. Frees her from that coma. Yeah. Well, he convinces Arthur to do it. Because Arthur still loves her, I guess. Yeah, sure. But Nathan is now on board with this whole giving people powers thing, but it's not good. No. So, Peter confronts Mohinder and is going to destroy the serum. But Flint is going. It's flammable, so Flint starts, flaming on and stuff, and eventually Flint is. I think he's killed. Mohinder is doused in the formula, which cures him. And then the whole place burns down. Peter has to inject himself, and he takes Nathan's powers and flies away. Now, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this. This is where they've nerfed Peter's powers because he's the most OP. Now, from now on, he can only take one power at a time, and I hate this. I understand you gotta nerf him because he's got the power. He got the power because he's overpowered. I get it. But this is stupid. He can now only take one power at a time. So he has the power of flight. And if he takes someone else's powers, then the other power is gone. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's only one at a time. Which is fucking stupid. It's absolutely stupid. We end Volume 3 with some voiceovers and some talks. Mohinder is cured and gets into a car with Tracy, who, by the way, was also turned bad. I guess she wanted to push the Senate stuff, so she sort of turned on him. She's a politician. Can't trust them anyway. And we see that Primatech burned to the ground, so it's the end of the company, at least this part of the company. And Nathan, and then it says, Volume 4, Fugitives. Nathan is in a car with someone. It's Michael Dorn, from Star Trek, The Next Generation. Worf, if you're familiar. And he's showing him these files, all the people with powers. You get Tracy Strauss, you got Micah, all of them. It's revealed that Michael Dorn is the President of the United States. Which, if this aired, this would be towards the end of 2008. The election was in 2008. So, did Heroes predict we'd have a black president? Because I think the election would have been over by then, by the time this aired. But he wouldn't have been sworn in until 2009, right? Is that what I'm thinking? I can go backwards. So this year's the election, right? 2014. 4 years. 2014. Orale. 2024. So 4 years was 2020. And then 4 years after that, 4 years before that would be 2016. 4 years before that would be 2012, right? In 2012, 4 years would be 11, 10, 9, 8. So yeah, then he would be sworn in 2009. So, yeah. 2014 already. But yeah, so we start with Fugitives, Volume 4. We're all gonna be hunted down. As a whole, Volume 3 is not bad. I think that Robert Forster is a great villain. And they actually use him pretty well. For a guy that has all these powers, they don't have him flaunting it. Yes, when people try to fight him, he's got all these powers, By the way, he does die. Siler kills him, by the way. Yeah. Forgot to mention that. Siler kills him. That's when Siler decides, I'm going to be a bad guy again. And he kills Al, he kills Arthur, which is a little anticlimactic because they wanted to have the big conflict be between the brothers. I guess it works in a way, but yeah. I do like Nathan's response too after Peter saves him. You flew. That wasn't me. You flew. You injected yourself. The one thing you were against, and you injected yourself with it. He's got a point. The man has a point. But yes, so where do we go from here? Well, we have to find out when I get to Volume 4. Which I hope to possibly get through this weekend. I don't know. We shall see. Might want to watch something else. But yeah, I think volume 3 is pretty well done. I remember having conflicting stuff with season 3, and I think it's because volume 3 is actually pretty good. Yes, there's some. The writing is done purposely to move the plot along, making things very convenient. As I mentioned, 3 different things happen that's very convenient. You know what I mean? Hero finds the formula, it's taken from him right away. They find the prophet, Hero has the vision, and resolves that he has to stop Arthur Petrilli. For Arthur Petrilli to just show up and turn him into a 10-year-old. Well, mind of a 10-year-old. And he gets his mind back. He gets the catalyst, and Arthur is just magically there. It's all too convenient so the plot can keep moving forward. I think maybe if they just fixed a few things, we didn't need. Like, they made it all too easy for the bad guys to get where they were by the time it was ready for the climax of this volume. It's all too convenient. I mean, it works to say that it gets where it needs to go, but it's just a little too convenient. But yeah, I think it's pretty well done, this volume. Let's see how my disposition will be in the next volume, Fugitives. So we shall see. So, what are your thoughts on volume 3? We can also make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.